What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is your breakdown of Roman Reigns, the Shredder. He looks super cool. Rusty pointed out, if you look over his right eye there, he's instead of got Shredder's like scarring, he's got the Roman Reigns symbol, the old big dog one anyway, right there on his face. So that's kind of cool. Love the design. Love the big shoulders. The combination of the Hawaii tribal chief look with the Shredder look all the way around. Very, very, very impressed by this character. He looks so cool. He is a new gen, should be new gen. That'll get fixed there. Era striker that is technician. Sorry, the new gen versus modern era thing threw me off. It'll get fixed. He's an aggressive technician, is what I meant to say. Links and gears with the Bloodline. Any color moves start with 2 more MP. TMNT, all color moves that deal damage will do 75% more damage. And the new generation, gems do 10% more damage. On his trainer ability at 35k, that's 6 gold. Black gems do 50% more damage. Blue moves start with 2 more MP. That's going to benefit Cody. These two play off each other well. So let's take a look at a few different move sets. We're going to start with this one right here, triple black, all 6 MP. Welcome to Shredderville. Deal damage and make the bottom 3 rows into multi-gems of strength 6. Then, look at this sub. Color sub, place 7 submission gems and do 1.42 million damage. Well, hello, sub meta. Welcome back to at least starting to come into contact. Just don't go up against a zombie. For 4 turns while subs are on the board, and they are purple. And then you've got the Shadow of Evil. Deal damage and make 26 multiply gems into purple. Then deal 2.4 million damage and destroy 49 random green gems. Should that be make 49 random gems green? I don't know. We'll see when we get into it in just a moment. But it's pretty cool. Entourage-wise, we're going to focus on the sub first of all. Then we can decide if we want to focus in on the multi-gems. We do. So we're going to use Nikki Cross for black subs, do 100% more damage per turn. Black moves start with 2 more MP. Xavier for black moves start with 4 more move points and receive 5% less damage. That doesn't matter. Logan Paul for any color subs do 50% and last for 1 more turn. And Rocky Johnson, black subs do 50% and last for 1 more turn. So 4.26 million for 6 turns. Plus, we're doing multi-gem damage. So, since we have a sub, whenever you generate 3 or more sub gems, increase your green and your purple gem damage by 100% with the All Heart. And then the Seal of the Acolyte, whenever you make 6 or more sub gems, increase all of your gem damage by 50%. So it's kind of a sub move damage combo, because we are going to swap this out right here. So now you have kind of 3 sources of damage. You've got sub damage, which is pretty hefty, right? I mean, it's still not going to drain him out turn 1, but 6 turns at 4 million is pretty darn good. Then you've also got the move damage on there, which the Shadow of Evil does a pretty decent amount. Not huge, but still. Then you've got multi-gems going into times 6, and you're breaking the multi into purple, then doing damage again, which is... It's a lot. It's a lot going on. This is a complicated man right here, is all I'm saying here. So let's see him up against zombie Sami Zayn. I know I said don't go against zombies. I meant the new 2024 zombies that all have sub-reversals, because that would be bad. That would be bad. He looks a bad man. Like, I like this Roman. I like this Roman a lot. Look at that. All right, so first we're going to throw down the sub. We're going to... maybe make some purple. Why not? Just to see what happens. We don't actually need purple for this moveset, but I just want to see him break a little bit. Thank you. There we go. All right, so we started out at 50 million health, and he went down to 25. So that is half of his health right there. 25 million sub. 25 million sub. If you'd have put Powerhouse Austin on there, you could have had the sub last for more turns but do less damage. It's also pretty spicy and crazy. Ooh, with that blade on there. That was cool. I like it. All right, so the bottom 3 rows, there's no benefit to try to get a moveset where you can go back to this one because it's just the bottom 3 rows go into ×6. That's, straight up. So then we're going to hit this one. It's doing, is that 23 million? No way. Let's see. 950. No, 2 million. Okay, just wanted to make sure. 2.3 million damage. Then it's dealing 6.8 million damage the second round. So this is another 8 million in damage. Oh! Finish him. Fatality. I love it. Okay, so those turn purple and deal damage. Then you do destroy green gems. Okay, all right. So still. Easily drained him out. That was at 6-star silver. So you do 25 million sub damage, about another 25 million damage on the multis, plus another 8.5 million on the move damage. So all said and done, that is over 60 million damage easily. It's just coming from 3 different places. So that was cool, man. That was really cool. I like it. Let's see what happens, though. Instead of focusing on the sub, same moveset, but we're going to swap in Sherry. We're going to see what happens if we focus on the multi-gems. So this one I don't have loaded, but it shouldn't take me long to find Sherry. She's usually right there. And then we need Mr. Hogan to get us loaded turn 1. Right here. Santa Hogan, give me a dream. All right. Then, okay, this is a super rare character potentially. We don't know yet. Yeah, let's do Zombie Brett. I'm not gonna run Seth Leonardo yet. Seth Leonardo, we just don't know how available he's gonna be this second round. But if you have Seth Leonardo, worth looking at. Otherwise, we're going to run Zombie Brett for purple and multi. So ignore the trainers up here. Let me go like this. Boop, hiding. Okay, there we go. So same setup, same thing as before. We're still running All Heart. We're still running the Acolyte plate. And by the way, try this again. There is a chance that he will get added to the moment as well, which he is not currently showing. Just so we're clear, it's not inside information, but I mean, we all saw there's 2 shadow figures on that TMNT moment, and we just got 2 new characters. So, hello McFly. All right. Now we're just going to do these randomly. Don't care if they break. Don't care if they survive. All right, there we go. So we're doing 1.42 million per. So that was not much. That was 4 million. Not a huge deal, but we buffed these up with the plates. Now we're going to throw down some multi-gems again. So he's at 45 million before we hit this move. Those are times 10 now. We got, oh, I love that. Oh, this is so cool. I love that. Anyway, daggum. 30 million. So that's 60 million. Plus he breaks green gems, which didn't really add too much. So that right there is 60 million. That's how I'd run this moveset. The subs aren't really, I mean, it's cool. It either way. Honestly, either way, you got to 60 million. Just how you got there. And technically, you did the same 3 moves. So really, it doesn't matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Either of those ways to run him is very good. Focus on the sub, focus on the multis. You don't have Sherry, focus on the sub. You still hit 60 million in cumulative damage all the way around. But either way, that was super, super cool. So that's the first moveset. Let's take a look at something else. His second moveset is super funky, and I love it. It's a bleed build. So, they just redid the Rocky characters right before they got rid of them for the final time. If you got Apollo, this is now your guy right here, right? So it's really kind of a cool setup. I'll show you why. The trainers, like I mean, they're very well dialed this in. So you've got deal damage, which is a decent amount, and increase your black MP by 6 with the might of the foot, 3 MP move. It's also a reversal. If the opponent uses a bleed move against you, so Roman against Roman, or Roman against OTC, or etc., etc., that are not triggered by gems, then you deal damage and make all green gems into multiply of strength 10 and steal the opponent's turns. It's bleed steal, so he bleeds you, you don't bleed him. The old way, 5 MP purple, deal damage and cause your opponent to bleed for 2 turns. During each of these turns, there's a 100% chance, so why not just say it does it, to deal 2.36 million bleed damage to your opponent. And then the Tortoise Rack, color submission that we already saw, 7 into purple, so flawless reload, and it deals 1.4 million damage for 4 turns. So this is kind of a combination of the last one. If you want to go in on the bleed, or if you want to go in on the sub, you've got the ability in either way. But I think it's built for this trainer set exactly, right? Because you need to get to 5 MP. So you have your 1 turn to start. This guy right here gives you 2, so that gives you 3. You've got this guy for 4. So all you need is a line bonus, and this exact setup works. So Tongaloa gives you moves that cause bleed, will do 100% more bleed. Purple moves start with 2 more. Then you've got Mr. Apollo Creed here. Moves that cause bleed will do 150% more bleed damage. At gold, that's 200%. And then you've got Xavier for moves and gems and traps and countdowns that cause bleed will do 50% more bleed damage. So now you are dealing 9 million bleed damage during each of your turns. You're doing 9.4 million bleed damage plus 8.9, is that million? No, 800,000 more damage, plus 1 million from the might of the foot, blah, blah, blah. So again, this would need a midline bonus to start loaded turn 1. Otherwise, you're going to be 1 shy on your bleed move. But every mode or a prop and a midline bonus, you're good to go. You don't really have anything that you're going to need on the titles right here. These really don't matter because you're not doing gem damage. You're doing sub and bleed damage. However, you do want to come in here and change this guy to a 200% purple or black. Which one did we want? It was on black, so I might have just actually screwed myself here. No, purple. You want to have purple, just to buff those guys up right there, because you're not buffing the sub with that. So let's see this one. Yeah, I'm already liking this. I'm very excited for it. I like bleed gem stuff. I got Zombianka right at the tail end of her relevancy, and I've wanted a new bleed person to replace her ever since then. So you'll get started loaded with tour perks, but again, you need a midline bonus otherwise. So you would have to hit this one right here. So this is 2.4 million damage with a nice spinning kick to the face. That buffs the sub. Then you're going to put this, and you're doing almost 10 million for 2 turns. So that's 20 million. 20 more million, right? Bam, there we go. And then you're putting down the subs. You just need 4 or 5 of them to match. So 2, 3 matches would be more than enough so that you're ready to go turn 2 if they survive the sub. Without buffing the sub, it's not as strong, but you can see that bleed is just hitting. And you've got a sub bleed combo, so it's not going to be as fast as the last moveset, but they don't have a chance. I mean, look at this. He's half done, and he's about to be whole done right here. All the way done. Done, and done. There we go. All right, one more set of matches, and we out. He's done. And reload again. Doesn't matter because he's not going to survive the sub-bleed combo. Done. So not quite as fast. Your feud speed people will not like this build very much at all, but it is super cool. It's super fun, and it does some things. So I like it. I like it. It's pretty neat. Yeah, that's it for this moveset. Let's see one last one. The last move set we're going to run is Triple Green. 6 MP Turtle Soup. Deal damage, choose 4 gems to make into green. The Wretched Reptile Ripper. Deal damage, decent amount of damage, and make 23 random gems into botch. And then the Super Shredder, Kevin Nash variant, hopefully. Finisher, deal a good amount of damage, plus bonus damage for every botch gem, and then deal damage and decrease the amount of all of your opponent's gem damage by 49% for 2 total turtle turns. So again, we got a lot going on here. There's a lot of ways we can run this. Move damage is pretty much right on the table there. You know, those are some good moves. We can look at it that way in a second. Botch gem damage, which, you know, damage per gems don't tend to scale, so I don't tend to focus on as much on them, but it does something. Or what I'm going to start with here at least is gem defense. Gem defense plus a lot of botch means this guy will be very difficult to get around, which is kind of the idea for him, right? On Entourage, you'll need George Steele for green moves start with 4, and Santa Hogan so that these 2 6 MP moves get loaded turn 1. Then I'm going to put the good old-fashioned Honky Tonk on here. I haven't seen him in a while in any of my... I don't think I've maybe used him in a couple of years in my videos, it seems like. I've only been doing this for a year, so it feels like I've never used him. Receive 30% less damage from any color gems. Plus, then I've got Stacy on here for botch gems, do 50% more damage. If you have You Can't Cena Me, Invisible Cena, he does all color gems 10% damage reduce. So you could add that into the mix. But take a look, when we look at the strap here, we are going to run the final boss Finery. Whenever you make 15 or more botch gems, decrease all of your opponent's gem damage by 80% for 3 turns. But you're going to see something funny with this in a second here. Plus, you have this little guy, if you've got it. Whenever you make 8 or more botch gems, deplete 4 MP from each of your opponent's moves. If you see this combination in Showdown or Feud, just run. Just run. Don't do it. Yeah, you can beat him turn 1, you know, use your guys. But if you slip up at all, you're going to have a yuck of a life, right? But what I do want to put, I know I didn't put it in the graphic here, but what I do want to put for each of these, variations is the Chic Plate. I will need to move this off, which means I'm going to have to load my currency, probably. I will, yep. But the Chic Plate, whenever you activate a green move, increase your green move damage by 100%. You could, I don't even know if I'm going to run it the other way, but you could do a move damage plate on this and maybe try to get that going. And then you're just going to want to run, what's this one? All move damage 66%. Yeah, that works. You're going to want to run armor. Oh no, let's do green move 200%. Yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I don't need to run a move damage strap. This is going to be awesome. So you're going to want to run an armor strap with double armor ones. We haven't used these medals in forever, right? Gem defense medals. But now take a look at your stats. And right now you have 230% gem defense. 230%, which means there's not a way for them to kick out if you do it right. So we're actually going to be able to buff that higher than that, though, because I'll show you. See, he doesn't reverse botches, he reverses traps. I always forget what Sammy reverses, and then I go into a video and start doing it, and I'm like, womp womp. All right, so we're going to throw down the botch gems. So that's going to trigger your plates. Plus, it's going to trigger your Chic Plate once. So now we've got this move, 4 gems to make green. That would load our finisher, but if you can get 6 gems and not cascade, you can actually trigger the final boss Finery twice. And I can get 6 easily right here. So let's do that. Hopefully we don't cascade. So now we've not only triggered the Chic Plate again, so now we're dealing some damage on this move, but we've also now triggered the other plates twice, or the other final boss plate a second time. So now his gem defense is in the toilet. Like literally, if you click on his poster right here, he's doing 1 gem damage. 1. So you can see when your buff, your debuff moves take effect, you just click their poster, you can see what's happening. He cannot damage us, which means he can't kick out. So now we're going to hit our finisher, which is now going to deal, commas here, 10 million plus 310k bonus damage for every one on the board. Then we're going to deal 8 million, so that's 18 million total damage, and decrease the damage of all your opponent's gems by 49% for 2 turns. So you're getting already a character that cannot kick out. You're decreasing that again by 49%. I mean, it's just insane. It's just, and that is, that was cool. That was cool. So it didn't hit 50 million. But look, 0, 0, 0. Nothing he can do. Even if he cascades, his gems are only doing 1 damage. So there's literally no way for anyone to kick out of this. I mean, some characters, maybe, if you've got one of those characters who, kicks out of a pin, that's about it, right? So, I mean, I don't even need to run a move damage strap on him. This is what I would run. Just plain and simple, this is what I would run. And in terms of an overall move set, I don't have another character on my roster that does this. So this is actually the way I think I will run him. Yes, I like the 60 million instant kill, but this guy with these plates, or again, if you've got this Hitman's battle armor, you're going to sacrifice a lot of move damage, but as you saw, you don't need extra damage. You don't need it. So put this on there, and anybody who's got some sense is going to say, if I can't turn 1 this guy, I am running for the hills. I have a special place in my heart for the Glowing Phantom, and I loved using him with the botch build where they just couldn't kick out. There was a little risk involved with it. There's no risk involved if you put this together like this. He cannot be beaten by your opponents, like period, unless you screw something horribly up, right? Horribly up, then he can't be beaten. This is your final boss of the Turtles event. He's an S tier, so I'm hoping he's at least somewhat accessible. I want him. I think he's awesome. His trainer ability is useful. It's definitely in the range of replacing some of the old previous trainers who did 30 or 40%, plus a couple colors, plus he's another MP trainer, plus he just looks super cool. Like I don't have a bad thing to say about this character. Where does he fit in terms of other techs? Well, he's not going to be as fast or high damage as Ilya, or, well, I mean, he could be close to, no, he's not going to be as fast or high damage as Ilya. He's definitely, if you have the Tama plate on Julius Magulius Creed, he's definitely not going to replace him on your roster. Miz is a little more cascade prone, but he just does something different. And that's like, if you're going to overload the technician class with so many top tier techs, at least make sure they do something different. And this guy does something different. He's doing things in a way that others do not, which I really, really like. Now, what about the black finisher that breaks purple and green gems? Could you run it with bleed? Sure. Could you run it with, something else, where you're making the greens and then you're botching? Sure. But really, these 3 builds, any of one of them, the bleed one in the middle is probably the least enticing at this point, unfortunately. But either the first one or the last one that we did on this, oh gosh, he is super good. And I want him on my roster. I like just watching him do his little Wolverine claw thing and the way his moves work. All the way around, very impressed. Great job, Scopely. The poster art is just freaking incredible looking, and so's the character model. So all the way around, very happy with this guy. I hope you get him. I hope to get him. See you on the next one. Bye.